Здравствуйте, меня зовут Антон Белов, и я студент первого курса группы МЗ-106 Российского государственного профессионально-педагогического университета, и сегодня я представляю защиту своего мультимедийного проекта о жизни и творчестве Йозефа Гайдна. Начинаем. Hello, my name is Anton Belov. Today I want to present to you my multimedia project on the greatest composer Joseph Gayden. The purpose of my project will be to study and analyze the life and style features of the composer's work. The task will be to identify the sources of the origin of Joseph Gayden's music, to trace its development and its implementation in various forms of art. This slide shows the outline of my project. First, they will talk about the biography of the composer. Then I will talk about the development of creativity, then about the works of the composer, and then about the style of the compositions. After this, I will sum up. Franz Joseph Gayden is one of the greatest composers of both the classical Viennese school and the World School of Music. The genius musician is of Austrian origin and among them. Musicologists believe that the musical genres of the symphony and quartet were first composed by Joseph Gayden. The composer lived an interesting and eventful life. Joseph Gayden was born in a poor family. His father was a master of carriage making, and his mother worked as a kitchen servant. Joseph's father liked to sing. Because of this, the boy quickly developed a passion for music. Absolute hearing and an excellent sense of rhythms were given to little Joseph by nature. Joseph was lured into professional music studies by his uncle, who took him with him to the Vienna chapel at St. Stephanie's Catholic Cathedral. It was there that Joseph began to train his talents. He developed his skill to play musical instruments and compose both choral and instrumental works. But in Italy, Joseph wanted to learn how to sing. Gayden did not have many close friends. One of the few was Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Gayden differs from the great composers in that he was a long-lived man. In the professional life of the composer too, there were no waves, and everything was calm. As I have already said, Gayden wrote music in all genres and forms, both instrumental and vocal, be it symphonies, concertos for various instruments, quartets, trios, sonatas, or operas, but in the field of instrumental symphonics and chamber music. The historical and artistic significance of Guyden's work is much greater than in all others of musical art. Guyden was impossible by folk melodies. Folk motifs in Guyden's work is not the least important due to the fact that he spent his childhood as a composer in an Austrian village in direct contact with the life of the people. So his works are very often imbued with folk customs and problems. Looking a little ahead, we can say that Guyden music is mostly in measure. In Guyden instrumental music, the perfect embodiment turned out to be a symphonic cycle. All of his works are combined with a building-in artist concept, and this each part of the work has its main leading dramatic functions involved in the gradual unfolding and reveal the idea of the entire work. Guyden wrote huge numbers of different work, including operas, symphonies, strings quartets, piano sonatas, and much more. Will of course it is chamber music that stands out in all these works because one started making music of chamber performances. Works written by the composer can be seen in this slide and the text. So we got to the style of the works of Guyden and what in the first things to now. First, Guyden was close to choose aesthetic views according to which music is designed to implement essential revolutions in sounds. And two, the Guyden as a person and an artist was formed in the environment, so to speak, of folk and household music in Vienna. Guyden music has many features. The first in the representation of the volume of the sound, whether it is a forte or piano. After all, his ideas of the time were very different from our modern ones. Guyden did not have an exact definition. The dynamics were wrote outlines. The grace notes in the works of Joseph Guyden are distinction by the fact that they can be small notes, called be along music, drums unstirring. Their duration is not always unambiguity predetermined by the notation, but unlike later composers, it is dominated by longer accented Gaian was very fond of using unusual characters in his musical compositions. For example, three types of notation are used for gruppetto, the uncue thing for Joseph Gaidan, with he himself developed and creates. This is still used today, are using with great popularity. Summing up, we can say the Gaidan is not accidentally called the father of the symphony. It was these genres that acquired classical performance and become the basis on which symphonyism grew from Beethoven of the present day. And Gaidan's music become one of the peaks of the Viennese classic school. Is it worth paying tribute to this great composer for his works and his chamber music? Listen, Gaidan's work you really represent the long and happy life of their creation. Indeed, the life of the composer was very long. The last compositions he wrote at the age of 71, but there was very little happiness in this life. From adolescence, when he wanted to go to a monastery to eat his fill at Lation once, and many other situations that occurred in his life. But despite all this, the man was able to overcome all the hardships and become a great composer. This is where I want to finish my project. I was very interested in learning about the life and work of Joseph Gaidan. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.